This whole Jimmy Butler fiasco is absolutely insane. And I want to read some articles, watch the video that came out from that press conference where Jimmy said that he wants to be somewhere else pretty much. And the fact that Shams leaked that Jimmy wanted to trade at some point and Jimmy's agent went so hard against Shams on Twitter. There's a lot to talk about. Jimmy Butler may be on the move. We got some news, casuals only. Let's get it. So as of 4 hours ago, apparently Jimmy Butler has officially requested a trade. That's at least what this CBS article is claiming. So here's a CBS article. Jimmy Butler trade request. Heat star officially informs the team he wants out per report. Now, whatever per report means, I have no idea what that means. That doesn't necessarily mean that Jimmy has requested a trade, maybe. Maybe just somebody is assuming at this point, or somebody close to Jimmy has some sort of idea, I guess, but maybe this article will tell us more. Jimmy Butler has been making some pretty thinly veiled comments of late about his desire to be traded from the Miami Heat, but now he's made it official. Shams Charania and Brian Windhorst of ESPN report that Butler has indicated to the Heat he wants the team to trade him and that he is open to playing anywhere other than Miami. Wow. So I'm very curious, like, where this all stemmed from. What happened in Miami and what happened with Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley, or the Miami Heat's relationship, that caused him to go down this road. I can only assume it stems from, what was it, last year when Jimmy Butler made comments about, like, if he were on the court, the series would be different or something like that. And then Pat Riley was like, you can't talk if you're not going to play. And I think from there, it's kind of stemmed. Let's see. According to ESPN, Butler will not provide a list of destinations as he feels he can make any team a contender. And notably, he says he will participate in all team activities and do whatever the Heat ask of him as the sides work together or work toward a resolution. Participate is a pretty loose term. However, when Butler wanted out of Minnesota, his idea of participating in team activities was to basically burn the Timberwolves organization to the ground by teaming up with the backups in a now infamously dramatic scrimmage to run the starters off the court. I mean, we remember back in Minnesota when Jimmy was on the team with all of the backups and they ended up beating the starters in that scrimmage. And then right after that, Jimmy went to, who was it, Rachel Nichols, and did like an interview with her, telling her about the entire practice and how he pretty much just told everybody that they're bums. And then he wanted out of Minnesota. So Jimmy just has something going on, I guess. I don't really know what it is, but I do have to say I respect the fact that he's willing to participate and do whatever the Heat ask of him, because the worst he can do is just tank the team for the franchise, his teammates, the fans. Like, the last thing you want to do is tank the team and their future and their, playoff aspirations and whatever it may be, because he is selfish and wanting to leave Miami. So I respect him for at least, participating and at least putting in the work to help Miami get to where they want to. On Thursday, Butler participated in Miami's 128-115 loss to the Pacers by scoring 9 points on 6 shots while spending a conspicuous amount of time standing in the corner like the disinterested kid who wants no part in the museum tour his parents forced him to go on. I've watched a good amount of the Miami Heat this year, and I've never even thought about the fact that I just haven't seen Jimmy Butler on the court. I don't even know if I've watched Jimmy play this year, maybe once out of the probably 10 plus times I've watched the Heat play this year. Afterward, Butler was asked a handful of questions ranging from his sudden lack of offensive involvement to whether, point blank, there is any chance of fixing whatever has been broken between him and the Heat. His answers, even before the ESPN report broke, spoke for themselves. Reporter: how do you feel about your performance and focus tonight? Butler: I felt great. I was focused. Felt like I did my job well. At least what my job is now. Reporter: when you say what your job is now, we're not used to seeing you stand in the corner for extended periods like that. Is that a team approach that has cast you that way? And for you to be your best version of yourself, can that be your role, and can you thrive to the best of your ability? Butler: it can be my role here, but that's not what I'm used to. I haven't been that since my first, second, third year in the league, where I went out there and just played defense. I compete. I guarded. I tried not to let my man score. That's what I'm doing now. Reporter: Heat coach Eric Spoelstra was in here saying he wants to get you more at the point and get you more activated. Is that something that you're amenable? What is that? I don't know that word. Amenable to? I'm assuming that like open to is my guess. I've never heard that word before. That ain't gonna fix it. Reporter: what will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it? Butler: I want to see me get my joy back for playing basketball, wherever that may be. We'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here off the court, but I want to get back to somewhere where I'm dominant. I want to hoop. I want to help this team win, and right now I'm not doing that. Reporter, can you get your joy back in Miami on the court? Butler, probably not. So Butler clearly wants out of Miami. Again, we didn't really need the report to know this, but now the veil has been completely lifted and all attention will turn to whether Pat Riley gives a damn what Butler wants. He should give a damn what Butler wants, because this team, with the contract and the money that Jimmy is making, this team is really missing him on the court. And obviously Jimmy Butler is a great player. So even without Jimmy Butler on the court, this team is already taking a direct hit. And then you have to think about the contract that he's on. And if you're paying this guy, what did he sign? A $44 million deal for 2 years or something like that. Let me see. 3-year, $146 million, coming out to $48 million annually. Okay. You're paying Jimmy Butler $48 million annually to sit on the bench or to score 9 points or stand in the corner. That's not what you pay Jimmy Butler to do. That's not what Jimmy wants to do. This team is going to be hurt by Jimmy Butler just standing in the corner. You know, just he's so much better of a talent than what this is. And so Pat Riley needs to get rid of Jimmy Butler if he cares about the Heat and has any respect for Jimmy, in my opinion. Remember, Riley recently shut down the idea of the Heat trading Butler in an actual release statement, which concluded the following: therefore, we will make it clear we are not trading Jimmy Butler. And this was before Jimmy even talked about wanting to be out of Miami. It was kind of hinted at here and there. I think at this point, Shams had then tweeted a tweet about how Jimmy wants to be out of Miami and he was preferring like Phoenix, Golden State. I don't remember the other teams. And then Jimmy's agent came back to Shams on Twitter and said that all of that's false. Like none of that's true. Shams is making stuff up. And then the Miami Heat and Pat Riley put that out on Twitter. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of people just not speaking to each other is what it seems like. Terrible communication. ESPN's report indicates that Riley and Heat owner Mickey Arison have met with Butler's representation in recent days, attempting to resolve the divide between the parties without success, and that Butler hasn't gotten over Riley publicly calling him out for saying the Heat would have beaten the Celtics in their first round playoff series had he been healthy. If you're not on the court playing, you should keep your mouth shut, Riley said at the time. And I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. This all kind of stems from that situation between Jimmy and Pat Riley from last year's playoffs. That's crazy. Jimmy's holding on to a grudge that long, but obviously it affected him some sort of way. Like, maybe back up your star instead of putting him down like that. But at that point, it seems like Riley's maybe a little frustrated with the lack of playing that Jimmy did last year, and especially missing the playoffs. You know, you're paying this guy $48 million per year. You would like to see him on the court. So, I mean, I see both parties, but obviously from Jimmy's viewpoint, you want your owner, you want the manager, you want the coach, your team all behind you, whether you're going through injuries or personal stuff or whatever reason you miss time. But maybe Jimmy's, you know, he has to keep his mouth shut. Pat Riley's probably right. The report also states that Miami had already engaged in preliminary talks with multiple teams regarding a Butler trade before the official demand came, but that none of those talks progressed and the Heat were showing no urgency to move Butler. We'll see if that lack of urgency continues to be the case and if Butler starts cranking up the heat, so to speak. I like that. We know Butler is capable of making things very uncomfortable if he doesn't get his way. He started that process in earnest on Thursday, both on the court and in the press room. Now the question is whether the Heat will begin their process of becoming the latest team to fold at the feet of the superstar trade demand. Good article. I thought that, you know, gave me everything I needed to know from it. And I pretty much gave you guys my thoughts throughout there, but Miami needs to trade Jimmy. You can't let $48 million sit on the bench or not play or stand in the corner, score less than 10 points. B, you're going to get that product for the rest of the year if you don't get rid of Jimmy. And you can probably get something pretty decent back for Jimmy, at least to help you start a rebuild, because this is going to force a rebuild. Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo aren't enough for this team to continue forward on a playoff pace, in my opinion, at least. I mean, the Heat have been pretty decent without Jimmy. They're enough to at least keep you afloat for a play-in position, maybe, and the pieces they have around them is enough to do that. But I would say trading Jimmy is a good start to help you get somewhere if you do end up trading him to, I don't know, the Golden State Warriors, for example. When you get back Kuminga and Moses Moody, that's a decent little haul for you guys. You get back some picks, And Jimmy is now happy he's in Golden State, where somewhere he has a chance to win a championship. And in Miami, now you have Kuminga, you have maybe Moses Moody, like I said. There's a chance. I mean, obviously, you're still gonna have Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. You drafted Kello Ware, and he's been looking solid lately. Nikola Jovic is coming into his own. You have Duncan Robinson still. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, Jaime Jaquez Jr. Like the Heat have a bunch of pieces, and if they wanted to, they could go out and make more moves if they were like very desperate to try and make the playoffs and not just to be a play-in team or a middle of the pack Eastern Conference team. But either way, I think Miami needs to let go of Jimmy. It's in the best interest of both parties, in my opinion. But I'm not Pat Riley. I'm not Jimmy Butler. I'm not in this situation. This is just all my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, of course. Do you think Jimmy will be traded? Where do you think he'll be traded to? Do you think Pat Riley is going to play a stubborn, hardball kind of game and not let Jimmy out, force Jimmy to be here? Are they going to somehow miraculously fixed this relationship? I have no idea. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in this entire Jimmy Butler situation. I appreciate everybody. Casuals only. I'm out. Deuces.